life is changing, and a huge part of that is because of AI. After all, you can have a conversation with ChatGPT and it can write you a novel, write you a recipe, seemingly learn how to be more human. That's crazy. And it's so crazy that we knew that we wanted to make a game using AI generated art, because why not? After all, there are a ton of pros. There are some real cons, but in the end, we think that it's going to make a game that feels incredibly special. And if you want to do the same thing, here's our advice. So you might be wondering why. Why on earth would two perfectly reasonable humans decide that not only are they going to make a game, but they're also going to use AI art? And here's why. I mean, first of all, we are not particularly artistic, and the fact that we're not artistic doesn't mean that we could never be, or that we couldn't make a game. After all, plenty of people learn how to do art every day. Plenty of people figure out how to do pixel art or another kind of art that doesn't require quite so much finesse, and we could totally do that. But why not use another solution when it's presented? Why input hundreds, thousands of hours when you can input that same time into making other aspects of your game amazing? So, number one, we are not artistic, and we are happy to rely on something that is way more capable of making incredible art in moments than we are in hours. Here are a few examples of the kind of art that we were generating before we started using AI art. This was art that we inputted hours of time into, that we worked really hard on, probably took a total of like 25 hours or so to develop this scene, versus with the AI art, it still took time, but it probably took it down to 5 hours. That's a huge cut in time for what I actually think is probably a superior product. So, number two, it can absolutely save you time. Another thing that we really like is that it can come up with unique concepts that we might not have generated ourselves. So, number three, AI is really innovative. It's going to give you concepts that you might not have thought of, and it's going to present them in a really funky way that the human brain just doesn't immediately lean on, and so you're probably going to end up with a little bit more innovation in your game than you might have otherwise. Number five, we can focus on other things. We can input more time into our code. We can input more time into our stories. We can develop personalized characters that feel real and authentic. And number six, it gives our game something special. Our game, I already love it. I love how it feels. I love the gameplay. I love the characters. I love everything about it. But there are so many indie games out there these days that feel unique, that feel beautiful, that feel lovingly crafted. And so we were looking for something else that's just a little cherry on top that, you know, could make our game stand out in an oversaturated market. So if that's something that you feel your game is missing, maybe jump on board the AI train, see how it turns out. Now, we've talked about the pros, we've talked about the cons, and now I definitely want to talk about copyright. First, let me start out by saying there is absolutely no expertise in what I'm saying. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything particularly about copyright. I can only speak to the experience that I've had so far and what we've vaguely been told by lawyers that we've spoken to. Short answer though, I'm a little bit worried about copyright, and Matthew has no concerns. So, you know, go ahead and take that as you will. Here's kind of what we've found out so far from our personal experience. So, number one, we went ahead and we spoke to several lawyers when we first started working on this, and the short of their answers was that there is no truly established law yet that makes it very clear where this sort of case is going to end up. So we're in a definite gray area at the moment. It could go either way in the next few years. Going off of that, one thing that we have tried to make sure to do to make sure that our art is as unique to our game as possible and not just stealing from others is that every single image that we generate through Dream, we go ahead and we import it into Procreate. We erase everything but the one asset that we want. And then we also go ahead and usually add a black outline or whatever. So it's no longer functionally the same image that it was, at least from what we can tell. Then we of course import it into the game where it becomes surrounded by other items which have also been uniquely generated, edited, created, etc., so that it creates an overall product that is unique and is different from anything that the original artists that the AI is drawing for could have created. Now, again, not an expert, really no idea what I'm talking about there, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with AI art in the next few years. And part of me feels like we're kind of racing against the clock a little bit to create this incredible game. I think it's probably going to be okay, and I think we've created a unique enough product, but it's absolutely something that if you are considering doing, definitely look into your legal options, definitely just sort of keep that in the back of your mind, because we have no way of knowing what's going to happen in the next few years. And even though you are creating something unique and special, you just don't know. And so while we have decided that it is worth it and that we think we are creating an absolutely unique product that has nothing really to connect it to any original artwork other than our own, that's going to be up to you to decide. Do you want to take on the risk and potentially receive great reward for it? Or is it not worth it? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, because we so respect artists and how much time, I mean, like I said, it took us hours and hours to generate art before we started using AI art. So, the last thing we'd ever want to do is damage any of them. So it'll be really interesting to see how it comes out, but we're doing everything in our power to make sure that what we're doing is unique and is interesting. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Where is this whole AI art thing going to end up? Would you consider creating a video game with it? Is it absolutely a terrible idea? What are your thoughts about our game so far? We would love to hear it. We've been working on Age of Silver like crazy for the past year or so, and we're really proud of the way that it's coming along. So if it seems like a game you'd want to play, go ahead and subscribe below for more information and more discussion on this kind of material. So we hope to hear from you. We hope that you enjoy playing our game, and I will talk to you soon.